Okay, in this video, you're going to have to put up with the camera mic. And I'm sorry for that, but it's the best way for me to do what I'm going to do. What I wanted to show you is exactly what I go through when it comes to tuning this sequence. So in this sequence, I've already come up with basically a melody and a bass line that I intend to use for this sequence. Now, I usually tend to progressively tune it better and better. I start off just with sort of rough pitches, and then as I get closer and closer to the actual recording of the song, I tune it in the way that I'm going to show you. I'm going to show you my process for tuning, and there's probably some way that's way better than my way, but this is just the way that made sense to me, so I'm going to show you what it is. Okay, I'm going to be tuning up the melody, which is this half of the Megacity, and it's this synthesizer down here, this Nyborg, is the one that is doing the melody sound, which is kind of an interesting sound, which you will hear or may have already heard, I don't know. In any case, you will hear it if you haven't, and you have heard it if you've heard it. So, first, what really helps is I can turn the amp to cycle. Then I get the pitch repeating over and over again. This is helpful for tuning. Okay, I'm going to make the pitch have a bit more sustain so it'll be easier to tune. Actually, I want to remember where that was. Okay, so now we're hearing the first note of the melody sequence repeating over and over again. I'm going to turn on a digital synthesizer so that I can tune the pitch of this sequencer to the digital synthesizer. You can hear it chorusing. I've got to fix that. Then I will move on to the next note and fix that, which is the same pitch. It does take it some time, and I'm doing it entirely by ear. That's just the way I do it. You could probably use a tuner to actually do this, but I'm old-fashioned, so. It's not easy, nor is it fun, but I have to say, once you have it set, it does stay set for a fair amount of time. I probably could have gotten away with recording this without tuning it, because if it's not perfectly in tune, it sounds really natural, which is a cool sound. But yeah, it holds pitch for a while. If you turn it off, then you may have to do some fine-tuning the next time you turn it on. But yeah, I just want to make sure for my recording it was in tune. So these aren't exactly perfect, and for me, I don't really care. I like to have that variance in there, so there's a little bit of natural sound. Also, you have to be careful not to touch the other knobs when you're tuning. You have to remember that this is an analog device along with these two different analog devices. So tuning can get sketchy, but that's why we're doing this. It is that variation in tune and variation in wave shape and etc. that happens in an analog synthesizer that is what we're shooting for. It's why we have devices like this. So this is a labor of love. It's not a huge problem, but it does take a little bit of time, but it's worth it. Okay. Now we are back to just this Nyborg 12, and I will take it off of cycle. So now, hopefully, when we press play, it'll be in tune. Now, it's possible that it won't be. I gotta be honest with you. This is voltage. Sometimes there are voltage changes. I've had situations happen where it seemed to go out of tune for a moment, but a lot of times it'll come right back. That has not been a very frequent situation. But it has happened, and it hasn't been a problem for me. It's just one of those things that we deal with when we're dealing with voltage. So let's have a listen to where we're at. Let's bring in the other oscillator. That sounds great. Okay, that is the tuning process I go through when I shoot sequence songs or record sequence songs with the Analogue Solutions Megacity.